Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Hello guys and welcome to round, I believe 7, yes, round 7 of the 5th season of Vrl F2. Today we are headed to the forests of Belgium at Spa, another exciting track, another fairly high-speed track, although it does have some fantastic corners, including, it's kind of everyone's favorite corner, of course, Eau Rouge and Radion, one of the most iconic in F1, up the hill, right off the start, finish straight. Should be an exciting race today. As you can see, the lobby is almost full, so we are, I think, just waiting on our last few drivers, and then we'll be able to get this Grand Prix underway. I believe Karem is our current champ. So for those of you looking out for the championship and how that's developing, I believe Karem is still top of the leaderboard in his racing point. Had some strong performances up to this point. Podium finish after a 7th place start at Belgium. He was 7th place on the starting grid, made his way up to the podium, so a really strong performance. Really showing his stuff. A lot of these guys I don't know too much about because I've been commentating F3, but I do see some familiar names. Luke, or Nick rather, Luke, Batboy, Virus, always threats. They've showed some really good pace last race. But yeah, a lot of really quick guys in this lobby, so I'm super excited to get this underway, which we should be able to do soon. Of course, in real life motorsport this weekend, there's no F1, but there is the iconic 24 Hours of Le Mans race, which is currently going on, I believe. That's always exciting to see that. A real test of the driver's staminas and endurance. But enough about the WEC. We're worried about F1 here as we head to Belgium. So you can see we're going to have an 18-minute qualifying session, which will set our starting grid. And then the race will be underway after that. Hello Arta, hello Hotline Mode. Good to see you guys. Oh, every F1 fan's dream. It looks like we got a bit of a drizzle here. That is very, very interesting. Let me get my track map on just so see what's going on. Get all of this on. Looks like it's going to be intermediate conditions here. Let's just do a quick rundown of our competitors today. As of now, we of course could have some people tune in later. We have Nick in the Ferrari, Leroy in the Red Bull, Ave in the Mercedes, Stein in the pink Mercedes, also known as the Racing Point, Bad Boy in the Haas, Xavi in the Williams, Yori in, I believe, the AlphaTauri, Anozia in the other Haas, Virus in the Renault, MK as the other Ferrari, Karem as the other Racing Point. Pepin is going to be in the Papaya Orange McLaren today. Yoda is I believe Yoda actually is the Ferrari, and then Nick is in an Alpha, but I'm actually not sure. Alex as the other Mercedes alongside Ave, Nick as the other Red Bull alongside Leroy, and then Kimi as the other Williams alongside Xavi. So it looks like MK is going to be the first one out here on his outlap. Currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars out on track today. No rain in the race according to the drivers. Okay. Well, maybe we'll have a mixed up grid and some of our top guys are going to have to start from the back. But all the drivers are going to make their way onto the track now. Let's ride along with Kimi on this outlap, see how the conditions are, and yes, it's definitely pretty wet. Certainly not full wet conditions, but enough to make things more difficult for the drivers. So I'm really excited to see how this turns out. As we fly through Blanchimont with Kimi, really pushing it even on the outlap. It's really great to see these guys giving it their all on the outlap. Yellow flag in Sector 3, I believe that's just Virus going slow in preparation for his first lap. But let's ride along with MK here, who is going to be our first competitor to set a lap time as he comes through the Lost Horse hairpin. Look at that view. I'd give anything to be able to watch this race. Now that MK's lap time has been validated, Sector 3 has. As Kimi is going to set our first lap times as he exceeded track limits, and I believe he will be on an in lap now. Let's ride on board with Honda. Really strong performance last race, as this lap is also invalidated. So the rain probably proving pretty difficult for these racers. I know it's tough in these rainy conditions, especially at a track like Spa, which relies so much on high speed cornering and being able to make the car stick. But if anyone can deal with these conditions, it is these guys. As you see, Wakanda getting a lot of wheel spin in fourth gear here through this, not the start from the straight, but the kind of main straight on the front part of the racetrack. Just really trying to keep the car it's kind of stuck down through there. Probably running relatively high wings. As always with F1 and setups, it's kind of a trade-off, you know, because you run high wings, you don't spin as often and the car stays planted, but also you lose time on the straights. And I would assume these drivers are erring on the side of straight line speed. But it will be interesting to see if there's any difference in the setups that the drivers are using. I don't know if there's a consensus best setup, as you see Alex Bomberg letting Wakanda pass. Good sportsmanship from him there, as Wakanda is on a flying lap and Alex is not. At the top of our leading board, you see Leroy improves by almost 30 seconds, so, you know, does well to improve on that first lap. But at the top, Virus is still on top with a 152.4, followed by Nick with a 152.7, so about 0.3 of a second back. And then about a second and a half back of pole position is Leroy, with Yoda only 3/100ths back of Leroy. So that's going to be an interesting. Oh, as Yoda says hello to the wall and breaks its wing. Interesting stuff there from Yoda. I don't know if he was frustrated with running to the wall there or his lap as a whole. Pretty solid lap for Yoda in my opinion, but he will bring it into the pits and get a new wing fitted. Now Wakanda is in the pits. He was a competitor at Britain, but he has yet to set a lap time here, as these rainy conditions is proving really difficult. And Virus, our current pole sitter, provisional pole, is on his outlap in his Renault, which I believe next year we will not be seeing. Well, it's still Renault technically, but the team name will not be Renault. I believe they're going to the Alpine brand, which is Renault's kind of luxury car brand, kind of like AMG is for Mercedes, but they will be known as Alpine F1 team. And they will be losing that iconic yellow, unfortunately. I'm quite partial to the Renault livery. I think it looks really nice, but they will be going to I believe a red, white, and blue livery to honor their French heritage, which is interesting to see, to say the least, as Virus comes through Blanchimont up towards the final chicane, just flat out through here, 8th gear. Let me turn on telemetry for you guys so we can see kind of what the drivers are seeing. Oh, and he just brings it into the pits. That's interesting. I wonder if he got a this and next lap validated. That it's entirely possible that the penalty he received, not penalty rather, but I guess it is technically a penalty. Let's ride along with Nick here as he as he takes some liberties in that section. I believe his next lap will be invalidated too because of that, so we could see Nick just duck into the pits and wait for the next run. He is trying out the soft tires, so some of these guys, I wonder if maybe Yoda's on the soft. Yeah, they are transitioning to the soft tires, so that rain was just at the beginning of the session, so we can count on those lap times to get a lot better. As Nick just weaves his way beautifully. That car stays planted really well. Nick's just really gentle and just does a really nice job of maintaining the maximum speed throughout corners. While, you know, staying in control as he enters the third sector through Blanchimont. This flat-out left-hander. 8th gear, 190 almost miles an hour. Wow, just whipping it. Really similar to 130R and Suzuka, another one of my favorite turns. As DRS has been activated, I did not see that notification from race control, but it has been deemed that it is dry enough to use DRS. As we're going to ride along with Nick for the entirety of this lap. just to see if he can get. He should be able to jump Virus in theory, because Virus's lap was set on the intermediate tire. It'll be interesting to see what happens through Eau Rouge with the soft tires, and it looks like they're just flat out. So it looks like the conditions are just dry enough. Track probably still relatively cold. Tire temps could be an issue, but other than that, it looks like it is the perfect conditions for soft tire. As you see, he's a full second up through one sector even. So switch to the soft tire is really paying off, and I would assume that the rest of the drivers are going to follow suit. As we see that only 8 drivers have actually set laps, so I don't even know if I've seen Stein or Nozia or Pepin or Alex even on the track, so I wonder if they knew. They likely probably knew that it was going to turn dry soon and figured they didn't really need to set a lap on the wets, didn't want to waste a DNF. As we saw Bad Boy, I don't really know what happened to him. If he was involved in a crash, I did not see it, as Yori grabs provisional pole as of now, but he's the first one across the line with soft tires. Still a relatively solid lap. Yori, strong performance in Britain, got kind of unlucky there, but he's going to be looking to bounce back here in his AlphaTauri, the machine that, of course, Pierre Gasly won in 2 weekends ago in Monza. God, that was a great race. Really refreshing to see someone other than a Mercedes on the top step of the podium. Even the podium in general, Carlos Sainz grabbing second and Lance Stroll grabbing third, as Nick goes comfortably provisional pole, about 2.7 seconds up. Yoda jumps Yori by about 2 seconds. Really competitive time from Yoda there. Good to see in the Alfa Romeo. Only about 3/10, not even. 2.5 tenths back, as Anozia is going to split Yori and Nick with a 1:45.3. So top 3, just like Britain, the top times are really quite similar, and it looks like we're going to have a competitive lap as we see more drivers setting their time. Karem, your championship leader, is on his out lap. He is currently entering the final chicane. And that's really interesting for Karem. Karem just pits. I don't know if he picked up some damage on the out lap or he just wasn't happy with the setup. As Alex Bomberg goes P1 with 4 minutes left in the section with a 1:45 flat. Great stuff from Alex Bomberg here. Got really unlucky in Britain. Ended up DNFing. Yeah, it's good to see. And it looks like Alex has noticeably less speed on the straights. Maybe he wasn't using as much ERS. But he may be running a higher downforce setup, and I think that is paying off as now. We see 12 drivers have set times so far. Still the set times are Nick Ave, that boy DNF, so he will not be setting a time. Pepin and Wakanda, who is on his flying lap as of now. I don't know if that's a glitch, but it does say that he's on a 6-minute lap. I guess we will see if that's a glitch or not later, but I don't think he's been on the track for that long. As you see, the timer just reset. Let's ride along with his Renault teammate, Virus, here on his flying lap. Looks pretty darn quick to me. Oh my goodness. Virus at the 1:42.6, 2.5 seconds up on Alex Bomberg. That is a stunning lap. The first race I ever commentated was the F3 race in Vietnam, and it was a wet qualifying session. Virus was about 3 seconds faster than the second place racer, using a dry setup in full wet conditions. That's a race that I won't forget anytime soon. So that was when I kind of knew that, wow, this guy's got it. I was like, yawn. I'm not tired, like they just yawn. As we see a little bit of Constantine up for Kimmy here as he flies through Eau Rouge and Radion. Game audio down? Okay. Let me know if that's okay. Yeah, Jaffa, let me know if you want me to turn it down anymore, if it's good there. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. As there is only a minute left in the session, so drivers are going to be trying to get their laps in, as we see Nick, Ave, and Pepin setting their lap times. Or at least trying to set the lap times. Alright, everyone's saying the audio's good, so we're going to keep it here for now. Barring any complaints, as Wakanda goes pole position by about 6/10. Really quick lap. Damn, these Renaults look really quick, don't they? They look to be kind of the best, quite obviously here, as Wakanda is 3 seconds up on the Mercedes of Alex Bomberg. Oh, almost has a brush with the tire barrier there. Invalidates his lap. And he's only got 30 seconds to get to the line, so I don't think that Alex Bomberg is going to be able to compete for pole position here, as he is still in the second sector with 20 seconds to go to cross the line. I just don't think it's going to happen. It's unfortunate from Alex Bomberg. And he does end up absolutely binning it through that long double right-hander as he sits in the gravel trap and thinks about what he's done. It does look like Nick is going to get a lap in time, so that's good to see for Nick. He's got to pull 3 seconds out of somewhere. I don't really know where he's going to find 3 seconds, but Nick's pretty darn quick as MK snags provisional pole from the Renault boys. Let's see if they're setting laps. I believe that Virus is on a flying lap, but Wakanda's lap has been invalidated. MK, out of nowhere, the race winner last week, again showing why he is competitive, as Leroy grabs second place as of now. Virus is going to jump Leroy, but he's not going to be able to get MK. He's about 2/10 back of MK there. Sure, Virus will be happy with that lap, but sure he could have done more, as Wakanda will not set a lap time, seeing as he ran out of time. Pepin with a competitive time of 1:43. As Ave, out of nowhere, grabs pole by about 600ths of a second. Jeez, absolute biblical scenes here at Spa. Jeez. As Kimi jumps Pepin for 7th place. Xavi's at the bottom of the leaderboard with 156. Does not look like he was ever able to get in a solid lap on the soft compound tire. Barring anything ridiculous, as Karam, your championship leader, goes P4, as he is jumped by Luke and Nick, who ends up on P3 of the grid. This is pretty nuts, guys. Look at the gaps. Look at the gaps. From 1st to 6th, the gap is only about half a second, and only about a second back to 7th place. So, looks like this is going to be a competitive race, and this looks like it's panning out to be a good one. So make sure to stick around, guys, because I think this race is going to be really exciting. As Stein is going to be our last racer across the line here. His current time is a 1:45.8. Looking at where his time is at, does not look like he will get close, as he comes across the line with a 1:42.8, I believe, so he improves by about 3 seconds. Only good enough for P13 for Stein there. So one of the Racing Point's doing well. The other Racing Point is not in a spot that he would like to be, I think. Yoda P6, he was sandbagging until now. Yeah. As we see our final qualifying standings, we have 30 seconds to get through this, so let's do it. Ave, MK in the Ferrari, Nick in the Red Bull, Mems in the Renault, Krem in the BWT Racing Point, Yoda in the Alpha in P6, Leroy in the Red Bull in P7, Wakanda P8, Kimi P9, and Ozia in 10th, rounds out your top 10. Then we have Nick Pancras, Yori, Stein, Pepin, Alex Bomberg P16, P15, sorry. Xavi, Batboy, who did not set a time. Yeah, Xavi just did not get a time in on soft tires, so he will be starting from the back of the grid here. But dang, is it shaping up to be an exciting race for these guys. I'm really psyched to get this going. Time glitch? What was the glitch? How did Stein get a lap in? He was behind me. Oh, that's unfortunate. If I remember correctly, Stein was only able to grab P13, so not no, it looks like Stein will even be in P15 here. As Milan Kutstra, a late joiner, late registration, joins us. He will be starting for the back of the grid. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like we have a full grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 racers today, which I believe is our biggest turnout yet. That's really, really great to see. It's last to first time. Oh my goodness. Jaffa's going to be in a charge. Yori is not happy with his lap, but hey, anything can happen. As we will get the formation lap underway. As you can see, the predicted pit stop strategy will be either soft to medium or soft to hard tire. I believe that most racers will be going soft to medium. Speaking of tires, nope, wrong thing, wrong thing. Hold on. Interval gap. Tire. There we go. Every single racer is going to be on the soft tire here, so no big surprise. When it comes to pit stop time, guys, we will turn that tire. I'm going to keep it off for now, but when it comes to pit stop time, that setting will go back on just to see what people are running. As I'm not really sure what's going on with Ave's gears. That was interesting. I think that's a glitch, but I hope that goes away because his car is just rapidly shifting between 5th and 6th. I don't know if that's something that Ave's doing or that's something that the game is doing. Or is he just redlining it? But that is, let's just say that's not the nicest sound. I think the Merc mechanics might want to have a look at that one. Yeah, listen to that. It sounds like a chicken being strangled. Jeez, that is a brutal noise. Look at that. Shifting between 3rd and 4th, just rapid fire. That's interesting. let's just say that is a interesting noise. Sounds like there's like a filter on it, like a noise filter. That's funny. Listen to that thing. Jeez. I hope it doesn't affect him in the race. I don't know if that must be just a glitch. That must not be something that Ave's doing. That just must be a glitch in the game. So hopefully it doesn't affect his race, because that would really suck if that kind of problem affected his race. Alright, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, I'm gonna do something new. Let's get your podium predictions. If anyone is right, there's no reward. You just have the privilege of knowing that you predicted the podium right. For me, I think it literally could be any of the top 10 or a surprise finisher in the bottom. I'm not gonna give my predictions because I gotta stay unbiased, but I really do think it literally could be anyone, as we're just waiting for the rest of the cars to form up on the grid, and then we will get the 5 red lights. As it looks like we are ready to start this race. 5 red lights. And away we go for the VRL Belgian Grand Prix. Looks like a pretty decent getaway for Ave. A little wheel spin in the background. Looks like he's going to hold first. MK goes around the outside through La Source. Oh my goodness, there's a car off. An Alfa Romeo. Alex Bomberg looks like he's off there. I really hope we don't have a safety car at the beginning. That would really suck. As MK loses out to Virus as they fly through Radion. It's Ave from Virus and then MK. Nick losing out too as well in 4th place. As, oh my goodness, both cars having to go at Ave on the Camel Straight. Heavy braking into this right-hander here. And it's just side by side for MK. And Virus, I think Ave will say, thank you very much, you guys keep fighting, I'm just gonna fly off into the distance, as there's drama from the beginning. Like I said, guys, this race could be won by literally anyone. As MK says, thank you very much, grabs that spot back from Virus, as Nick is currently behind them. Felix is going to be M's, MK, and Karem in the podium. Alright, Felix. As of now, it looks like MK and Virus are just slugging it out. But honestly, MK might get gobbled up by Nick here on this right-hander. We'll see what happens. Ave's just already flying into the distance. He's built out a gap. That means that come lap 3, Virus will not be getting DRS on him. So Virus has got to do his best to kind of rein him back in. But as of now, Ave looking large and in charge. As Xavi is on a bit of a charge, I believe he's made up 2 positions after not having the best of qualifying sessions. As Leroy and Wakanda, is it? No, it's Leroy and Nick both duck into the pits, as does TRT Kimmy. So I wonder if there was some damage in that incident with Alex Bomberg, as we saw him fly off to the left through La Source. As we head through Radion for the second time out into the Kemmel Straight. Karem, what just happened? What? How did Ave just lose out 2 spots? What? It's just a glitch. Never mind. It's a glitch. I was very confused there because I did not see anything like that happen. How is it lap 3 already? Yeah, I really don't know. This race it's lap 2, but the first lap was a formation lap. But yeah, that did seem to be a pretty quick lap. I guess we're just used to those slow qualifying times on the wet tires, or intermediate tires, since we get a yellow flag in sector 2. It looks like it's MK. Oh no, the Ferrari of MK. I think he just ruined Felix's podium prediction. Not what you want to see for MK there, as he's down in the back. Quite a large gap to Leroy, so he's just kind of in clean air, just doing what he wants, but he's predicted pit stop too. Apparently, MK's predicted pit strategy is to go into another pair of soft tires and then a medium tire. I don't really know what's going on with that. Let's head back to the front of the grid here, as we see Ave about 1.8 up. Shit. Yeah, that's really tough for MK. As DRS does get enabled here, as we are on lap 3. As Nick sets our fastest lap. Looks like he might make a move on Virus through La Source around the outside here. Nothing doing. Of course, there was a massive crash in La Source in 2018. I think Charles Leclerc ended up in the air there. As you see, overtake mode through that start-finish straight. None through Eau Rouge and Radion. As we go into the Kemmel Straight, he will have DRS. And in all honesty, this should be a pretty simple move from Nick. He just pulls to the left-hand side. Virus not giving him any room. He's on the curbing here as they exit the Kemmel Straight through this right hand, left hand, and then another right-hander. But he makes the move stick. As Yoda gets a time penalty for probably exceeding track limits. He's in 5th place now. MK does pit. I think he just figured that he might as well get on. Does he not pit? I don't know why it would tell me that he pit when he didn't pit. It doesn't make much sense, but he and Kimmy are going to kind of scrap it out towards the back of the field. As this is a stage of the race where I feel like drivers have kind of settled in. There's some gaps forming. Most likely not a lot of moves are going to be made during this section of the race. Like lap, maybe not now, but like lap 5 through lap 15, I feel like racers are just kind of in that rhythm of just kind of trying to survive. But we see here Ave does have quite a sizable lead as he comes through Blanchiment towards the final chicane, as he will begin lap 4. As Bat Boy also gets a 3-second time penalty. I don't know if this is the same thing as last week where everyone's getting 3-second penalties. I think the stewards might have to sort something out. Virus only about a half-second back. DRS open here on the start-finish straight up towards La Source hairpin. Really short straight there, but let's see if he can't get him on the Kemmel Straight. We're going to ride along through Eau Rouge to see how he does. pretty simple stuff here. Just kind of stay behind Nick. Although Nick got about a tenth of a second through that section. DRS open, overtake mode, pumping it through the engine as Leroy sets the fastest lap. Leroy's down P14, but that's promising just for his personal pace. And let's see if two things are going to happen. Either Virus is... Oh, big lockup for Nick around this right-hander. Either Virus keeps it close and makes a move on Nick, or Nick just pulls away. So I'm excited to see what it is. It's the car gets a little displaced there for Virus through that left-hander. The car probably just feeling a little bit on the light side as he nearly loses the back end. Oh my goodness, Virus always pushing it, always getting the most out of the car. But as you see on the timing charts, he's not gaining any time to Nick, so all this pushing is kind of for nothing. If I were him, I would try to conserve tires. As our first place racer, could say 3-second time penalty for multiple time warnings. I'll be interested to see if Nick can keep this close and take advantage of that penalty as they head through Blanchimont. Another favorite corner of mine. Spa's got some great corners. Really does. As you see Karem in the background keeping it close with Virus, but not within DRS range. As Nick is going to get DRS on Ave here, so I wonder if he won't even need the 3-second time penalty. He'll just get it done on the Camel Straight. Down the Camel Straight they go. He does have DRS, but Ave got about 2/10 back to Nick in that section, so I think Ave is just faster through La Source. But Nick is not the type to give up a fight. I think that Nick will try to keep pushing here as another big lockup through this long, extended, tightening right-hander. Really cool section of this race course. This transition between Sector 1 and Sector 2 is always so cool. I believe they're just flat out all the way, the long left-hander, keeping it planted. Yeah, definitely some surprises here. I don't really know what happened with MK, to be honest. He was just competitive, and then I either spun or I don't really know what happened. As Milan gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cutting warnings. But yeah, I really don't know what happened to him. He was just all of a sudden, he was just down the order like that. Excuse me. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty hefty recovery drive for MK. I think at this point he's just praying for a safety car. It's kind of all you can do in this position. He doesn't seem to be gaining on Batboy at all, as the pit window is open for those going soft to medium or soft to hard, even. As we were riding along with MK, Nick has snagged the lead from Ave, so Ave is going to try to fight back to grab that. But Nick had pretty good qualifying pace, but I think his race pace is just kind of out of this world. He looks mega quick. I don't know if Ave is going to be able to catch him. Alex, speaking of recovery drives, Mr. Alex Bomberg is in P7. Alex Bomberg is in not just a point scoring position, a really solid 7th place. I think Spa, it looks like a really strong track for him. Yeah, it looks like it's a track that he's either maybe not really used to, but a track that kind of fits his driving style. I think that does happen a lot, where maybe you won't exceed at a track like Monaco. As we get a safety car, oh no. I was about to say MK is thrilled right now, but it does look like MK is the one that caused the safety car. That is so unfortunate for MK there. Just really not a great race for him, as it ends almost mercifully. I'm sure he was desperate for that race to be over, to be honest. It's just one of those days where it's just absolute slog, as most likely all of our drivers are going to be ducking into the pits here, as Ave kind of darting to the left side there, kind of anxious to get going. Nick does retain first place, and he does have the hard tires fitted, which is interesting because I do think that the medium tires can make it. Ave electing to go to the medium tire, and these guys just oh my goodness, there's a Yoda is on the grass there, just a whole lot of traffic as Virus gets a 5-second penalty for a collision with Pepin. It's just kind of carnage here, just cars stopping and going and stopping. I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, that's interesting. Just slowing down through a ruse through the Camel Straight, as Kimi is going to try to do his best, as Stein gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I believe when you see that penalty, it's because he made an overtake either on purpose or accidentally, and did not give the position back. There's like a timer that pops up on your screen that gives you time to cede the position back to whoever you pass, but I believe that he did not do that. Let's go into our race director here as we look at the order, and we can look at the tires that our drivers have fitted. Actually, let me just turn the tire settings on. So you see a smattering of hards and mediums. Looks to be a split strategy. Looks like half the cars are on hards, half the cars are on mediums. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, as during the safety car should be a good time to see the penalties that were assessed. A lot of collision warnings. It looks like all these warnings do not have a time penalty attached to them. But as we go down here, our first penalty was Yoda with the multiple warnings penalty. As you see, all these track limits penalties most likely sustained through Eau Rouge. And 3-second penalty for Bat Boy, 3-second penalty for Ave, 3 seconds for MK, who is now DNF'd, 3 seconds for Nausea, 3 seconds for Milan, 3 seconds for Leroy, 3 seconds for Yoda again, 3 seconds for Alex, 3 seconds for Pepin, 3 seconds for MK, 3 seconds for Nick, 3 seconds for Stein, and then there was a DNF here. Now we have our 5-second penalties. 5 seconds to Yori, Stein. That's 10 seconds to Stein, so not what he's looking for. 5 seconds to Wakanda, 5 seconds to Yoda, and 5 seconds to Virus. So, a little bit of carnage here, a little bit of stuff going down. As the safety car will not be in this lap, so we're going to have another lap or two under safety car conditions. And can I just say, that safety car is so pretty. I love the AMG GT. It's a sick car, and I like the We Race as One livery. I think that's a really nice touch. I do wish the game kind of added special liveries, so if we could use maybe the Ferrari 1000s GP livery, or we could select a red safety car. I think that would be pretty dope. Or if we could choose between the silver or black Mercedes livery. I far prefer the black. I think the black Mercedes looks super duper sleek. But I think that would be cool just in terms of customization. I hope there's more sponsors next year for my team. That's what I think they should do. I think because the car looks pretty bare, because you only have like, what, 5 sponsor slots. But if you look at a real F1 car, they have just tons of sponsors. So I hope you can kind of make it look like that, which would be super cool. Of course, F1 2021 should be on next-gen consoles, so it's our first look at what F1 games look like on next-gen. Of course, that won't be out until next year. But I am excited to see kind of what happens in terms of what they want to do with next gen, in terms of the F1 games. think we might have had a safety car in every race I've been a part of. With online races, some of it, honestly, as we see, the safety car is going to be in this lap. So lap 9 will be our first lap under green flag conditions. Of course, this safety car caused by an incident with MK. I don't think he was spun. I don't think anyone hit him. I think he spun himself and ended up in a wall, most likely, and then, obviously, suspension failure, suspension damage. Can't race when there's a wheel off the car. So he had to DNF and take the long walk back to pit lane. As here, Nick is going to kind of dictate when to go. Nick should be in a pretty good position off the start, just because he can slow it way down. If I were him, I would just slow it way down through the final chicane. Although, oh my goodness, he runs wide here. Might have compromised his run. I think Ave actually had to cede that position back. Oh, but Ave just grabs it. Really? Oh my goodness. How is Javi in P3? That is incredible for Javi. As Anosia is there too. Nick drops back to P5. That's really disappointing for Nick there. That restart was not what he wanted, as he is now behind the Haas of Anosia as they fly through Radion out onto the Kendall Straight, as cars behind haven't even passed the start-finish line yet. Let's see if Nick makes a move here on Anosia. No DRS, just slipstream and overtake here. He's going to go up the inside here, it looks like, which will turn into the outside for the left-hander. But he just can't keep it in. He can't keep it there. As Javi, once again, just a fantastic position in P3. That's a really incredible drive for Javi. I don't really know what happened off that restart, but it looks like Javi definitely benefited from it. Virus is currently holding down P2 for the Renault boys, as teammate Wakanda back in P7 behind Alex Bomberg, who makes his way up into P6, and he looks like he might make a move here on Nick Verhards. Oh my goodness, this would be absolutely incredible if Alex can get this done. He looks so stinking quick, as Pepin receives a drive-through penalty for a collision with Karem. Those guys kind of getting into it. It looks like Karem somehow ends up P15 off that restart. So if if Javi won that restart, if Javi had a great restart, I think Karem just had about the opposite experience, as we had a brief yellow flag in Sector 3, but that is gone now. As Javi loses out to Anosia here, but Anosia, a huge lockup. Javi says, "Thank you very much, brother," and takes that position back through the final chicane, and should hold it through, what is this corner called? I'm blanking. La Source hairpin. There we go. As Nick grabs that position back from Anosia, but Anosia might have something to say about it. Through a Rouge. A little banging of the tires here. He's going to have the outside through a Rouge. Oh my goodness, Nick is gone. Nick Verhards is gone. Oh no, that is... both Anosia and Nick have crashed out. That is really unfortunate to see for those guys there. Nick, not a good restart. That's tough. Usually I don't like blaming drivers for things, because I know how difficult it is to kind of keep it clean on a video game, on an online video game with the lag and just the competitiveness. You don't really think about it because obviously you're not going to cause anyone actual physical harm by crashing. But personally, I do think that Anosia probably should have left more room there. He was kind of squeezing him against the wall like Sergio Perez did back in 2017. And I think that I do think that there should have been more space given. But at the end of the day, what can you do? I'm sure they'll both learn from that incident. They're both DNF, so no one's really benefited. It's not like Anosia crashed him out and then continued on. They were both punished by the F1 gods for that one. If it was real life, they would have died. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything. But yes, that did look pretty familiar. I know every time Spa gets brought up, it always brings back memories for F1 fans. But yes, that was a very similar incident to the Antoine Hubert crash. As these guys are just gonna try to keep those tires warm, do the best they can. to get ready for this restart. Second safety car already. Our current I think that Javi, if Javi can hold this podium down, I think it would be Merc 1-2, says Jaffa. I mean, Alex in P4, I didn't even notice that. He's got to get past Javi and Virus, so certainly not the easiest task. And Ave has to hold off Virus, who I'm sure is going to be hot in his tail in this restart. A Merc 1-2 would be absolute scenes. But if Javi holds down this podium, it would be, in my opinion, a disgrace if he does not win Driver of the Day. Started pretty much back of the grid, didn't get a lap in on soft tires, but has shown that qualifying pace isn't everything. It is now in a really good position. Again, literally, any of the top 8 could win this race. I really believe that. We could see some insanity off the restart. Obviously, that restart off the first safety car was the reason that Javi is even in P3, so maybe we'll see more craziness. I thought that the first restart was really peculiar. I think Nick kind of overcooked it into the final chicane. He was just, I think he was really going too fast. He might have locked up, but either way, he ran wide, and it really allowed Ave to just kind of slip up the inside and get the move done pretty easily, which put Nick down in the middle of the field, which then resulted in that DNF. So, all in all, though, it's been a fairly clean race. We still have 15. Jesus, I have the hiccups. This is a commentator's worst nightmare, isn't it? But we still have 15 racers left. Plenty of time for people to get a move on as we are halfway through this Grand Prix. Grand Prix. Does anyone know what race is next on the F1 calendar in real life? I don't know if it's Imola, because I don't think we have 3 Italian races back to back to back. Also, what new track are you guys liking so far? Or which one are you more excited for? I think Mugello was pretty good. It was pretty exciting. I think I'm most excited for Turkey. I think watching the 2020 spec cars. Oh, Sochi. Oh, Sochi's next. Yeah. Sochi is a weird track. I will say it is not one of my personal favorites. I feel like it's not great for overtaking. It's just kind of strange. Doesn't really have any like iconic corners. But yeah, I'm super excited for Turkey. I feel like seeing 2020 spec cars on that turn 9, like that triple left-hander, is going to be so cool. Also, the outer circuit at Sakir in Bahrain, that's going to be super dope. Nürburgring. Oh my, Stein, I forgot about the Nürburgring. Yes, that's going to be amazing as well. I believe they last raced there in the mid-2000s, so that's going to be super, super cool. I hope they do like a tribute to Michael Schumacher. I feel like that's pretty cool. They already kind of did. Mick was driving the F2004 around Mugello, which was super, super cool to see. But yeah, we got Turkey, we got Portimao in Portugal. That's cool. There's going to be fans there, actually, which personally I don't agree with, but, you know, whatever floats your boat, I guess. I don't know if it's going to be fans, but they're selling, like, the fan experience tickets. I don't know. Saw something bad on Twitter. But yeah, there's Portimao, Portugal. There's the outer circuit at Bahrain. There's Nürburgring. There's Turkey. They were thinking about bringing back Malaysia, but I don't think they eventually did that. I wonder if they're going to have... Like, I wonder if they go to the tracks, they have an exciting race, as the safety car is going to be in this lap. I wonder if they go to the tracks, have an exciting race, and then say, hey, maybe we keep this on the calendar. So I wonder if we could see Turkey or Nürburgring in 2021, which would be super cool if they could kind of pull that off, just to see how the racing is around there. Also, there's new tracks that we haven't really seen yet. Obviously, Nürburgring in Portugal and Turkey, we can't race in the game, but trackside are new that we can race in the game. I feel like people are kind of forgetting about Zandvoort and Hanoi, which should both be really, really cool in the 2021 season. Are there new spec cars next year, or did they delay? Because I think originally there were supposed to be like new specs next year, but they might have delayed that. I'm not really sure. As it looks like Ave's gonna have a much better restart than Nick. That's pretty much textbook there. That's fantastic from Ave, already building out an 8/10 gap. I really want to ride along with Xavi here, because I'm rooting for this guy. He's had a tough race so far. He's in P3. He's got to be thrilled. He's got to be super duper psyched, because this is again, if this holds, it's a fantastic result. As it looks like he's getting a bit of a run here on Virus. Come on, Xavi. Come on. Come on. Come on. To the inside. Looks like it's too little too late here. He's just going to turn off overtaking mode and just kind of hang out behind Virus. But a really good restart for Xavi. Although, Alex Bomberg, hot on his heels, is looking to get 2 of the black arrows on the podium. Not going to happen there, as he has a pretty sizable lockup. But a good restart for all the top guys. No moving and shaking as of now. There are no lead changes. As Yori in P6, I'll tell you, Yori wasn't happy with his qualifying lap. But again, qualifying does not exactly dictate what's going to happen in the race, as he's now comfortably in the points in P6. All the drivers kind of keeping it close. No one's really pulling away. As Alex looks like he's going to get the move done here. Oh my goodness, this is great racing for these two here. Side by side through the start-finish straight off the final chicane. And it looks like Alex is going to make the move stick, but Xavi might have something to say about it through the source. Let's look off to our left. Oh my goodness, that's a great view there. Hot brakes. As it looks like... Oh my goodness, there goes Xavi. How is he so fast? Alex in the rearview mirror. Xavi's got to see him there. Oh my goodness, this is fantastic racing as he switches to the outside through this right-hander. Alex is still there. A little bit of contact. Alex is going to get through, it looks like. I wonder if there's going to be a penalty. And we do have a VSC here. Wow, Alex is so lucky. Right before the virtual safety car, which means that he can retain that position. That is crazy. Are comfortably 1-2 right now. And VRL Mercedes and their team principal have to be thrilled right now. Alex Bomberg starting P14, making his way all the way up into a podium position. But Xavi's got a bone to pick with him, I think. I'm not sure if that contact there through the first right-hander off the chem. I really don't know. I don't really know what dictates a virtual safety car versus a real safety car. Like, I know a real safety car would obviously be like someone crashes and they're in the way. As no warning at all, green flag conditions now. As Yori looks like he's going to try to make a move on Xavi. Unfortunately, it does look like that move's going to stick, and Xavi's going to slip farther down the order as they head through the chicane. Turns into the inside. DRS is enabled immediately, which means that Xavi is going to get DRS here on the straight, I believe. And oh my goodness, oh my lord, who was that? Stein ducks into the pits. Yoda is DNF'd with that tire falling off, but I believe that was is that a Haas? Who was that? Who was tangled up? Stein still has a front wing. Let's see if anyone gets a front wing change, as they're both serving penalties here, it looks like. Oh my goodness, it was Wakanda. Okay, so it looks like Wakanda got... No! Wakanda's out at, No, where's... There's a Renault at La Source. There's a Renault off at La Source. and then there's there's Yoda is back at the chicane. So I think that was a separate incident. I think that Wakanda crashed by himself, and Yoda just crashed with another car. I really don't know who that was. As Yori does get that move done on Javi, relegating him to P5. And it's a safety car. Well, before I said the race has been relatively clean and people have been able to stay in, but now only 3 people will not score points today. So, with our third safety car of the race, I mean, what can you do? You know, it's tough. It's tough, man. These guys are just giving it their all. The safety car needs to be turned off. Yeah, Stein, I don't really have an opinion on that. I think it depends. I don't know how many laps we had under yellow flag conditions. I don't know how many, not waste, yeah, I guess they're technically wasted laps because there's no overtaking. I think that's a discussion for, I know Karem sets up the lobbies, but I don't know if he really has a say in that. I think that's a discussion to talk it through with Hot Lap and kind of see what their thoughts are on it. I'll bring it up with the admins, but as of now, I think we're gonna keep safety car on. Just because I know it's annoying to have 3 of them every race, but I do think that it makes things more interesting. It forces drivers to make, you know, strategy choices and kind of take risks. So personally, I think if all the drivers want safety car off, then we could talk about it. But I just think it makes the racing more exciting. But that's just my opinion. Oh crap, I'm stupid. I didn't even notice Wakanda was in second place. Was he? Who was in second place? Why is Alex in second? Oh, Ave. Why is Ave in P7? Did Ave pit? Yes, it does look like Ave, Kimmy, Nick, Leroy, Pepin, Milan, and Stein all pitted, with Karem, Batboy, Javi, Yori, Alex, and Mems staying out. To be honest, I think Ave probably has the pace to make it through the field on soft tires. I think that was probably a smart choice for him. But for guys like Kimmy and Nick and Stein, I feel like they would have been better off just staying out. Because I think Virus is going to have pace no matter what condition his tires are in. I think Alex has kind of proven that he has pace no matter what tires he's on. So I think that the only one the pit stop really makes sense for is Ave. Unless, like, obviously the whole field stop, then the pit stops make sense. But interesting strategy choices for the boys at the back of the grid. Yeah. As it looks like it's just going to be a 5-lap shootout. You got crashed out 6 times this season? That's like every race, mate. That's pretty nuts. I'll tell you, if Ave gets to move on with the soft tires off the restart and Alex makes his way past Virus, I think that Merc 1-2 prediction could be pretty clutch. Who was that said Merc 1-2? Oh, Jaffa. Jaffa said Merc 1-2. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can see that happening. Looks like the safety car is going to be in this lap, so it's just going to be a 5-lap shootout in Spa. Oh, that's Alex? Oh, Alex is betting on himself. He is. Oh, that's hilarious. He is very confident in his abilities. I like it. In fact, let's ride along with him off this restart here. Let's see what Virus decides to do. If it's okay with you guys, I am going to turn tires off, just because we kind of know what everyone's on. Oh my goodness, a lot of wheel spin there for Virus. As it looks like Yori is going to be the biggest loser off that restart. I don't really know what happened there, but Javi up into P3. Oh my goodness, Javi redemption here with Bad Boy hot on his tail. If you look at the timing charts, Alex is just gaining on Virus. He's only a tenth of a second back through the Camel straight. Let's see if he can get slipstream, not DRS, ERS active around the outside through Camel. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a run down into this right-hander. Alex Bomber gets it done. Alex Bomber is in P1 of this race. Oh my goodness, guys. This is absolutely absurd. Absolute dream restart for Alex. Virus is definitely going to keep it close, though. If there's one thing Virus knows how to do, that's overtake. As Yori falls all the way down. Oh, that's brutal from Yori. Oh, that's really tough. For what? For what? I'm sorry, guys. If I speak, I'm in trouble. But why is there a safety car? Oh, no. As Batboy gets in front of Javi right before the safety car, it looks like. Now it might just be like a one-lap shootout. That might be what this is. What? Does anyone know why there's a safety car? Yeah, Felix, I don't even think there was a reason for that. I'm not gonna call glitch yet, but this doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why there's a safety car right now. 4 fulls and 1 virtual. Yeah, I don't really know what's happening. As Milan and Yori both take advantage and pit for most likely the soft compound of tire. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I know earlier I said it makes races more interesting, but this is just weird. This is weird. What is going on? Well, this has been an interesting race, to say the least. This has been, yeah. And we're just gonna have a shootout till the end. Ave made up 2 positions off that restart. If he can make up another 2, it'll be 2 Mercedes on that podium. But Alex has got to stay in front. I think in every single restart, the person in first has gotten jumped by the person behind, so Alex is going to be looking to kind of reverse that narrative. It needs to be turned off. Yeah, Stein, I mean, this might be a situation where having the safety car turned off is beneficial. Because obviously there's no reason for it, and I don't really know why it's out. And honestly, we might go to the end of this race under safety car conditions, which would suck for guys like Ave, who were kind of on a charge. But, I mean, yeah. It's a tricky one for me personally. I know as a racer you probably want it turned off, just because it has a negative effect on you. Well, it depends. Stein for you probably had a negative effect on you for this race. For other racers like Javi, they definitely or Jabi, they definitely benefited from it. So yeah, it's a tough call, and it's not really mine to make too. Um, it's the lads up top, the boss man. It's kind of their decision, but we'll look into it, I think. Alright, assuming the safety car comes in this lap, which I think that it will. I hope that it will. It's going to be a 2-lap shootout. If the safety car stays out another lap, it's going to be 1 lap. So Marcos is going to win. Who's Marcos? I'm sorry, I don't really know the racers' real names. But yes, penalties may factor into this. Jabi? That would be that would be a great result for Jabi. I feel like it's kind of gone unnoticed, but Kimi has also had a really nice drive for the Williams P7. Yeah, so Kimi's ACDF Kimi. Yeah. So normally around here we get the notification. There we go. I timed it perfectly. What can I say? I'm a genius. 2 laps to go, guys. 2 laps in a shootout. Let's ride along with Virus here as he just kind of hangs out behind Alex Bomberg. This is a mind game. This is a psychological battle between these two drivers. Yeah, they're battling for first place on track, but I think that Javi, barring anything ridiculous, is going to have this one in the bag. Here we go. 2 laps to go in this Belgian Grand Prix. 2 laps to go to victory for Alex Bomberg if he can keep it together. That is the key. Decent restart here from him. It looks like Batboy may challenge here. But it looks like Alex is going to retain first place on track as we head towards the old start-finish straight. Up towards Eau Rouge, and Radion is swooping left to right, left again. Try to keep it as straight as possible to get the maximum exit speed. And it looks like he's done enough to stay in front of Virus for the moment. Overtaking mode wide open for Virus, but no DRS, which is crucial in letting Alex stay ahead. It looks like Ave has jumped Jabi. And it looks like Leroy has gotten a time penalty, and there's a yellow flag. If there's a safety car, I'm going to be enraged, but it looks like it's green again. Never mind. What is going on? Is that Milan? Is that Milan going slow? I think that's Milan going slow. I don't know, it's Yori. Yori's DNF'd, it looks like. Looks like we are under green flag conditions as Ave gets another penalty here. Xavi been relegated to P5, but I believe that with penalties he will still be first place on the timing charts at the end of the race. But we will see as they fly through this long curving straight down through Blanchimont. ERS most likely wide open for Virus. Let's ride along and have a look. Looks like he's run out of overtake mode actually for the lap. As we come to the final chicane, one lap to go. Big lock up for Alex Bomberg. It's going to sacrifice his line through the chicane. Looks like Virus is going to get a good run. Little wheel spin for Alex Bomberg. Yellow flag in sector 3, but they're going to ignore it. They're just going to keep charging here. Alex Bomberg looks like he's going to stay ahead as Ave goes all the way down the order into P10. I wonder if he's spun or he's just swamped. As CRT Kimmy's in P5. This is a fantastic race for VRL Williams. Oh my goodness, fantastic results. As Pepin goes up to P8, Nick is relegated to P9. Milan is still at the back of the grid in P12. As we go through the Kemal Straight for the final time, Alex Bomberg doing everything he can to stay in front of Virus. Both incredibly talented drivers. Virus is gaining, but he's just not close enough to make a move. He's going to have to really push through the second sector. Let's get telemetry on just so we can see what these racers are seeing. He's got 40% of the battery left. He's done really well to save battery here. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. I really don't. You can only use 50% of your ERS reserves per lap. I believe that is the status of the ERS. So he's going to use overtake mode here. And it just looks like it's just too little too late for Virus. It just doesn't look like he can get close enough. They head towards this long, winding right-hander. Overtake mode open again for Virus, but he's just too far, isn't he? Just too far to make a move. The slipstream isn't having huge effects. They head through Blanchimont for the last time. This is really Virus's last chance here on this straight, up towards the final chicane. Heavy braking here for the final chicane. Down through the gears, into second, even first for some drivers. Yellow flag in sector 3, it does not matter. It does look like that Alex Bomberg is going to take the checkered flag, at least on track here. Batboy in third, Xavi in fourth, and TRT Kimmy in fifth. Rounds out your top 5. Looks like Leroy's going to come across the line 6. No, looks like Karem jumps him. Leroy in 7th, Ave in P8, Pepin in P9, Stein in top 10. Rounds out your point scores, excuse me. And then the Ferraris of Nick and Milan are going to be, or no, Alfa Romeo of Nick, Ferrari of Milan is gonna be the final order. Now, let's see how those penalties played out. Batboy does win driver of the day. Fantastic job to the Turkish Haas driver. Let's see our final results. And let's see who we'll be talking to in our post-race interview. Loading. The anticipation, guys. This is everything right here. This is big. And it looks like Alex Bomberg is going to retain first place on the podium. How has he done it? Oh my goodness, guys. It looks like that is Xabi in P2 and Batboy in P3. I don't know how Batboy wins driver of the day. I feel like Alex should win it. P14 to P1. Xavi in P2. Another. I mean, all three of the podium sitters are candidates for driver of the day. And let's see if we will get confirmation for that result. Oh my goodness, it was Kimmy. Excuse me. It was Kimmy in P2. A fantastic result, really unexpected. So Batboy went from P16 to P2. Alex went from P14 to P1. Unbelievable for these guys. I mean, just absolutely crazy. Now let's get these guys into a party. Holy crap, guys. That... Oh, let's... So we need... Let's go to party, invite. Let's just invite Alex. Okay, there's Alex. Then we need to invite Bat Boy. And then we need to invite TRT underscore Kimmy. There we go. Those guys are invited to the party, so we're just gonna wait for them to join us here. If we can't get them in, that's fine. Hello, Bat Boy.
Hello.
Hello, Alex. Also, I might have invited. Yeah, TRT Kimmy. Okay. We're just waiting on Kimmy here to have a chat with our podium sitters. First of all, congrats, guys. Great race.
Thank you.
Both Batboy and Alex, you guys had some ridiculous recovery drives. Batboy coming from P16 and Alex coming from P14. We're gonna get this interview started a little early, just because I don't know if Kimmy's gonna join. But let me get your thoughts on what was the difference maker? Do you guys think? Was it luck? Was it your strategies? Was it just general racing skill, getting overtakes done on track? What do you think made you guys able to get all those overtakes done and end up on the podium?
Yeah, I will begin. I don't know. It was just a very chaotic race, and I just did my thing, and yeah, I think I had the pace today. Yeah, that's it really.
Yeah. Alex, what about you? What do you think the biggest difference maker was for you in this race and let you win the race in the end?
What do you say? Sorry.
So what do you think the biggest difference maker was? What do you think was the one thing that led you to go from P14 all the way to P1?
I'm just quicker than everyone else.
That's always the answer, isn't it?
No. A lot of things went my way.
Yeah.
Outright, I'm probably not the quickest. I think Karen got in some contact with someone. I don't think I've actually won this race because I think Virus is going to get a 5-second time penalty removed from the safety car. But either way, second's great, and I'm really happy with it.
Yeah.
Things went well. The strategy worked. I don't really know why why Vesta pitted for softs because it would have been really hard to fight through everyone. So I just stayed out, and I knew the mediums. I could get past Virus because I had the mediums and he had the hard. Yeah. I got past him, just pulled a gap.
Yeah,
I won the race, but I believe I'm second.
Yeah. I was a little confused when I moved from Avesta. He was in a really good position. But you know, sometimes races do kind of come down to those decisions. And then, Kimmy, you were kind of quiet. You weren't making any flashy overtakes, but you ended up with a really solid podium position. What are your thoughts on this race? How do you think you were able to do it?
Really unexpected. After the first lap, I was like, with my teammate on the party, I was like, I'm not going to get points in this race. I'm probably going to retire soon. So, and with the safety cars, I was like, I can get points, I can get top 5, and I didn't know I was on the podium right after before the finish line. So it was quite surprising for me.
Yeah, of course, safety cars make races more interesting, and with 4 safety cars, I wonder if that made the race 4 times as interesting. Obviously, that was a pretty big difference maker, but I don't think we should let the safety cars take away from what a great race we had today. Yeah, congratulations to you guys. We're gonna figure out the final results with the stewards in terms of penalties and all those things. And again, congrats, great race, and have a great weekend. Yeah, that is
a level
entirely possible.
Where you're doing 12 laps under a safety car is more than half the race, so
yeah,
it's a bit ridiculous.
And yeah, having that many laps under yellow flag conditions with no overtaking is pretty tough. But you know, definitely threw a wrench in the works for sure. All right, you
Well,
guys
it's
have
a
a good
harder
one.
job for you as a commentator, having to
Yeah,
talk
it's
through it.
tough. I didn't really know what to do. There was a lot of filler. There was a lot of,
Right.
theorizing. But,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
cheers.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Alright, guys, and that is going to be it from me. Thank you so much for sticking around for the stream. I know, probably for the spectator, forced safety cars is not exactly the most interesting race. But from everyone at VRL, thank you so much for sticking around, and we will see you next weekend.